Wait, hold on, Dave. Do you think I can make the team? And he was just like, well, I do, but the most important thing is, do you? And I just had so many butterflies. And I was like, well, now I do.
Imagine being so good at a sport that you can win an Olympic gold medal, put it on pause for a couple of years, and then qualify to try out again for the Olympics 12 years later. It is happening for an Arizona local, Breeja Larson from Mesa. You're not going to believe her story. It's right now on MOMCAST. Paris 2024, only a few months away, and we're all hoping that swimmer Breeja Larson will be there. Let me tell you a little bit about this conversation with the gold medalist, who has been retired from swimming for years. So 12 News asked if I would reach out to some past Olympians. I've been covering the Olympics since 2010, been to 4 Olympics myself. So Breeja Larson and I have become pretty close. I called her up. I said, Breeja, hey, would you be willing to come in, do an interview about your experience? And she said, actually, no. Because I moved to California. I am training for the Paris Games. Before we get into that story, because it is unbelievable, it will blow your mind how this woman can do this, I want to give you some fast facts ahead of the Summer Games. Paris has hosted the Summer Olympics twice before, 1900 and 1924. For the first time ever, you're going to see breakdancing at the Olympics. That's the only new sport added this year. Surfing, skateboarding, and sport climbing, they were added back in Tokyo. The medals contain scraps of iron taken from the original construction of the Eiffel Tower. We've got 32 Olympic sports, 13.4 million tickets, expected to bring in 3.5 billion euros in economic benefits for France. 206 nations will be represented with 15,000 athletes. That's Olympic and Paralympic, and about 4 billion television views. The opening ceremony is scheduled for July 26th, but this will not be in an arena. The Parade of Nations will be by boat along the Seine River. Okay, back to Breeja, who just weeks ago moved from Arizona to California for a chance to compete yet again at the Olympics 12 years after she won gold. Check out my conversation with the swimming sensation. I call you because we're doing this whole countdown to the Olympics thing. And I'm like, oh, well, surely I can get Breeja and we can talk about her, past Olympics, her gold medal.
Mhm.
And you tell me that you're going for another Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
Breeja, what the heck is going? You make it look so easy.
Oh, I love that it's not easy. I love the challenge of it all. So I started to get more into shape just for swim clinics, because it helps when you look like you know what you're doing and it looks like you know how to swim. So I started getting a little more in shape for that. And I started going to the gym more with my boyfriend, and I built muscle pretty quickly. And I was like, I might see if I can get a trials cut just to kind of network. If I can get a trials cut, I can get a free deck pass. I can go say hi to everyone, meet a lot of people. I heard a lot of other fellow Olympians were doing that. Like, that sounds like a lot of fun. So I messaged my coach from 2020, Dave Salo, and I love his workouts. They're so much fun. I said, Dave, I think I can get my trials cut. Will you start sending me workouts? And he's like, well, if you're going to go to trials, just come train with me. And it got me a little excited. I was like, I live in Arizona. Irvine, California is a little more expensive and my life is here. And then it just got me thinking, and this is probably at like 8:30 or 9 p.m. at night. And I was like, wait, hold on, Dave. Do you think I can make the team? And he was just like, well, I do, but the most important thing is, do you? And I just had so many butterflies. And I was like, well, now I do. And the cool thing about it all is one, the muscle memory is already there. It's not going to be easy. It definitely won't be easy. And I love it when people tell me that, like it's an excuse. Well, it's going to be really hard. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
That's
well
okay.
aware.
It should be hard. I
Right.
really enjoy, like it's almost like I'm a masochist in swimming. Like I enjoy the pain when you can welcome it and be really excited and just thankful that you're able to have the opportunity to feel that level of like pain and workout and that you can control it. It's really fun. And I just have like a whole new outlook on it and realizing how great of a lifestyle it was when I did it for 10 years and then going about 3 years without. It's like, I kind of want this back. And why not? Let's give it a go.
Breeja, it's been 12 years since your last Olympic Games. And listen, you came home with a gold medal. Unbelievable. You're going, I don't know anyone else who has competed in another Olympics 12 years later.
There's a few boys that have done it. Anthony Irvin got a gold medal in 2000, and then he got a gold medal in the same event in 2016.
Come on.
There's a couple of them out there, and it's inspiring. And I honestly think this has happened quite a few times with different Olympians where they retire, they're like their first retirement, and I think their nervous system just gets a break. Like truly, just their
Sure.
nervous system can calm down by not being jarred all the time. And then when they come back, they start feeling that excitement again and the adrenaline, and they get addicted to it, and they come back and just blow everyone out of the water. And so I got my trials cut pretty quickly. I was kind of shocked at how fast it came back. And now I'll be broken down until trials because the workouts are so awesome. But I'm really excited to see how fast I can go and just give it my absolute all and see what happens.
Is there a particular stroke that you're focusing on? Because I know that breaststroke was like your thing. So what's happening
Oh,
this
yeah.
time around?
I'm a one trick pony at that level. I
Yeah.
just do
Yeah.
breaststroke.
So what happens from here? We're 100 days out. I mean, that's
Yeah.
pretty stinking soon.
Yeah.
What do the next couple of months look like for you?
Just really fun, hard training. I'm taking it very seriously this time around. So I'm doing more or less 4 different lifts a week. I'll do 15 to 30 minutes on the Peloton just to kind of flush my legs. And then we'll do 6 swims a week.
And how's it going? Because
Great.
again, I mean, it's been 12 years since you have
Yeah.
been this intense with swimming.
Mhm.
When I think back to where I was 12, that was pre-kids. I mean, I could hike Mount Everest. But now, 12 years later, for you to just pick it back up, how can you do it?
Well, so I trained really hard through 2016, just missed the team, took a break in 2018, came back at the beginning of the year, made or got my, I got a national title in 2019, gearing up for the 2020 Olympic Games. And I was feeling really great. And I was with this coach here in California, and it was going amazing. And then when the pandemic hit, I think everything just kind of crumbled. And I remember it being so difficult to know that I didn't have an opportunity to try. And so with this coming around, getting pretty fast really quickly in early January, I was like, you know what? It would just be so great to have the opportunity to try again, and to just know that I got to go to one of the best competitions in the world. Olympic trials for swimming is one of the most entertaining, fun competitions. They have like fire that aligns the pool deck that raises up when they announce the swimmers. They have like a waterfall that spells out your name. They have therapy dogs to calm everyone down in the back. It's so fun. And so being able to go and just compete is such a privilege. And so with all of this in mind and keeping a very positive attitude, I know how to do everything. And so knowing that I have all of the mindset training that I've been giving a bunch of kids and working on with myself, and now with all the physical training combined, I'm really excited to see what I'll be able to do. And um, without any mental things stopping me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the funniest thing is I teach a lot of kids about the goblin in your brain,
Yeah.
and how you have those negative thoughts that kind of creep in. So I still have them all the time, and I catch them, and I think how ridiculous it is that I thought this mean thing or wanted to make this excuse. So being able to be a little bit more on top of the mental side has made this whole process a lot of fun.
And I think that that's something that really sticks out to me with you is ever since you and I have, become close with interviews and things like that, you really have the mental toughness
Right.
down. Because it seems like over the last couple of years, that's something that you've really been focusing on.
I really have. So one thing I always go back to examples for kids because they're just so much easier to
Yeah,
understand.
love it.
So whenever I see a tough workout coming my way, the first thought, and it could be from the goblin, just thinking, this is really, really hard, more like a complaint, but instead just learning to flip it and say, oh, this is really difficult. What an awesome opportunity to see myself go to like complete give out. So I'll change the vocabulary words that I use. Instead of saying like go to failure, I don't think that's failing if you work so hard that your muscles give out. I think that's pretty awesome, and it's very brave. And there's so much you can actually do with that, teaching your muscles to be brave and not be afraid of giving out. And so just
Right.
switching that up. So now I strive to be able to finish up practice and like roll out of the pool
Yeah.
and just have my body just pulse all day long from trying to recover. So now really every time I would normally have the complaint saying, I'm so tired. I can't even pick up my arm to like eat my oatmeal. Like, how am I going to do this? Instead, I just sit here and I observe what's happening with my body in recovery and just think, how cool is this? How amazing is it to have the opportunity to train with one of the best coaches in the world in one of the best facilities that we've known for such a long time. And so it's really, really cool this time around to truly appreciate every single opportunity that I have, even during practice. Usually when I look at the clock, I'm counting down like how many more minutes until we're done. But now it's like, how many more minutes do I have to try and make a difference? How many more opportunities, how many more repetitions do I have to try and figure this out? And it's so much fun.
Seems like you're just absorbing every minute, every second of training. So when are the trials and where are they?
So they're in Indianapolis starting June 15th. Right now, I just have my 100 breaststroke qualification time. I'll try and get some other cuts just for fun. Because again, racing is so much fun, regardless of like, I'm very competitive, but if anything, if someone goes really fast, that's in my heat, I'm just in awe at their sheer power and find it like such a cool opportunity to race with them. And like, of course I want to win. Like we all want to win,
Sure.
but in swimming, at least, since it's not a physical sport, you can't touch them. All you can do is just be in admiration of the athletic feat that they just performed. And so if I can get in more races to have more opportunities to race either past teammates or future teammates, awesome. Let's do it.
How many races will you compete in the trials? You say the one?
Max would be three. If anything, I would get the 100 breaststroke, 200 breaststroke, and 50 freestyle. I might be closer to the 50 freestyle because the 200 wear a little bit more on my body now.
Wow.
But if I can get the 50 free in the next couple of meets, I'd be ecstatic because that's the last day of the meet. And so I would have the full 10-day competition stacked with some races.
When will you find out which races you qualify for? Will that be right before the trials or what
It'll
determines
be
that?
right when you swim them. So
Okay.
every competition I go to is sanctioned through USA Swimming.
Hmm.
So and it's all touchpad based. So as soon as you do a race, you can see your time. And if it's underneath the qualifying standard, then you're invited to the meet for that event.
How are you doing so far when you look at your times?
I think they're great. If anything, I know it's going to be a pretty meteoric rise. So right now, I just barely made the cut a couple weeks ago, and I already feel a lot faster. My within like 2 days of working with Dave Salo over here, he changed like 5 or 6 things in my stroke, and it automatically feels so much more efficient. So I'm really excited for the next opportunity to race. I think I have one in 2 weeks. But again, every time it's a really good anxiety. I love feeling anxious in swimming because it just gives me that energy, and you can use your anxiety to really catapult you to the next level of competition and awareness. And so it's really fun. I feel like I can go on forever trying to explain it, but it's such a fun opportunity.
Well, tell me about the breaststroke.
Uh,
You're telling me that he changes 5 or 6 things
mhm.
within your so what do you mean? Like the way your hands are positioned, the way your head's
Yeah.
positioned? What does that look like?
Yeah, so looking at when I come up from my kick, where my feet are positioned and how much power I'm exuding through, the angles of my hands on every part of my stroke to make sure I'm being as efficient as I can using all the surface area to pull water away instead of down. Because there's within breaststroke itself, a lot of really big mistakes are either pulling too far down, like towards your belly, when they should just be right in front of you, or if you're pushing down instead of forward. And so, and it's so quick, and you have to think about all the microscopic movements between each stroke and where to feel the pressure. And even within that, in the race, not to put too much strength in each stroke. You have to really figure out how to manage your energy levels throughout the race. It's so much fun. And then the absolute core control that you have between each stroke,
Oh my
being
gosh.
able to be as like hydrodynamic as you can, trying to shoot as far as you can in the water and knowing exactly when to catch the next turn. It's so much fun. My brain is on fire the entire practice. I think that's my favorite part about his workouts is every single lap. You're really focusing on every single stroke because he had so many fun, intricate details that just force you to think. And then other times he gives us play sets where he'll have us do weird sculling or flip turns. And after practice, I have to ask him because he really is just the doctor of swimming, saying, why did we do that? Because I just want to know, like, what is the purpose of this so that I can take advantage of it? And sometimes they'll say, I just wanted you to play in the water. I just wanted you to have fun and just feel around, because it really is more than just robotic movements. It just has to be a beautiful flow. And it's so different for each person because their body composition is different. And so I have a lot of parents that will ask, like, what is the best breaststroke or freestyle for my child? Like, they need to find it. I can give you
Yeah.
different techniques and tips, but everyone's shaped so differently. You need to find where your body flotation and the best hydrodynamic position is for you specifically. And really good coaches are fantastic at helping to find each swimmer's technique.
What about your body made sense with breaststroke? Because you are very tall, long arms. What is it about your body where it was like, this is my thing?
When I was little, it was just being able to breathe every stroke. I like oxygen. But typically, breaststrokers will have internal rotating hips. So like my femur bones rotate slightly in, so I'm a little more duck-footed. And so because of that internal rotation in your hips, you're able to get a more powerful kick. Now, those who don't have that genetically can still be very fast breaststrokers, but there are genetic benefits to each stroke if you happen to have it. So those who are more pigeon-toed are typically better at dolphin kick, but that doesn't give you the excuse saying, I'm not pigeon-toed, so I'm not going to dolphin kick. That's not a thing. You may have more of a benefit if you're shaped differently for each stroke, but you can still become a master at each stroke no matter how you're shaped.
What was it? And I know that you're going to have to toot your own horn here, but for a coach, the
Mhm.
doctor of swimming is what you're calling him, for him to really believe in you because you were done. Like you
That
were
made
done.
that's what really sparked the butterflies. I asked that question just kind of almost jokingly, like almost
Yeah.
afraid to ask it. And I only had the privilege of working with him for about 6 or 7 months before the pandemic hit.
Mm.
Um, and I've known Dave for a really long time, since 2012, and he's been on different national teams with me, coaching other swimmers. But he's coached some of the best in the world that have multiple world records, and he's just so fun and has a different way of seeing things. Like, he invented sprinting, in my opinion. You look back at his workouts from 20, 30 years ago, and they're relatively the same. And he does such a good job at motivating his athletes to swim fast all the time. It's really intimidating. It's very intimidating when you first start out. And it's difficult to train your muscles to be able to have that fast twitch and hit from zero, like gear 0 to 10 really, really quickly. And so it made a really big difference. That really kind of pushed me over the edge. Having that dream, like, it would be so fun to go back to swimming, but it's going to be really hard to get back into shape. And
Totally.
I don't know, like, is it even worth it
Mm.
if I don't hit my goals? And so changing that perspective, the goal to me isn't really what matters completely. And I tell kids all the time, it doesn't matter how many medals you have. It's more of the experiences, the people you meet, the places you go, the skills you develop. Like, that journey is what makes it so amazing. And so keeping that into perspective, kind of like taking my own medicine that I try to give others, is saying, you know what? I really love the experience. And I don't know how much longer he'll be coaching. So if I'm going to have this opportunity to work with one of the best coaches again, I'm absolutely going to take it.
I mean, you had a whole life in Arizona. Like you had a job, everything, you were in real estate, like, but you just believe in yourself enough that I'm going to move and I'm really going to go for it. What what's propelling you right now? That takes a lot of confidence.
Yeah, and I think it's just the experience of it, honestly. I had such an enjoyable time in the past, and I think the biggest difference now is having a network that's very supportive.
Mhm.
So the people closest to me have been tremendously supportive now, and throughout the years, I've kind of been able to pluck out others that don't serve me, and being able to have that support system is phenomenal. And knowing the ways about the swimming world in general kind of makes it fun too. So it was kind of a scary thing to think, well, I'm not going to have the typical jobs anymore. So how am I going to support myself? I've been doing mindset training for younger kids for over a decade now. And I'm like, I can pick up more clients. I can do more swim clinics. I can figure out different ways to continue building that side career that I've been building for 10 years. And every single time I hear an excuse, the easiest answer is figure it out. You're like, well, what if this happens? Well, then I'm going to figure it out. And I'm just going to keep building on what makes me really happy because our life is so short. It's so short. And I see a lot of others that are very dedicated and happy in their career and give up a bunch of other um, just nice experiences. And I really hope that they end up happy. But the last year and a half or so, I've done a ton of traveling. I think I've hit over 11 countries.
Yes,
But I
every
just
time I look at
did.
your Instagram, you're in a different part of the world.
And that was possible because of swimming, because of the name I made in swimming. And if I'm able to do something phenomenal this summer, I really think opportunities are just going to keep going tenfold. And why not continue to use my name and likeliness to pay for the lifestyle? If I'm still smart with my money and budget correctly and invest correctly, this can be a job. I think that was one thing I was very self-conscious of for a really long time.
Sure.
Is I had the idea, and it had probably been planted by a couple different people that are gone now, but thinking this isn't a real job.
Mm.
It's not stable. It's not this. I'm like, well, it's been pretty stable the last 7 to 10 years. So why wouldn't it be stable now? And there's always the scary thought when you're in professional swimming, and at least if you don't hit a specific placement world ranking wise, then you miss out on your stipend. That happens a lot with other people in their jobs. You can get let go, you can get fired, so you figure it out. And I've always been able to figure it out as I go. And I've never felt like I've been in real turmoil or trouble. And I think I've allowed other people's opinions to affect my swimming for too long in a negative way. And it's really nice this time around to be able to just do it for me and have a wonderful time and continue to do a better job with networking. I think that's one of the bigger things too, is it's very easy to be self-absorbed and selfish in an athletic career. And so if you just take a step back and really try and connect with all the people around you, and especially those who want a piece of you to see if they can gather any inspiration or use anything to help their children in their career. I just try to be overgiving as possible. Like, and anything, there's really no secrets. Like, I will tell you anything about my career, anything that kind of helped me got there. There's no secret sauce. A lot of it is just consistency. But it's helped a lot in the past. And I think that this time around, I'm just going to try and make it as big as possible, of trying to continue to network and help out as many people as I can along the way. And I think it'll pay off in the end.
You have such an incredible positive outlook on how these next couple of months could go, which is fantastic considering the circumstances. I mean,
Mhm.
again, last time that you competed in the Olympics was 12 years ago. And then you think about Tokyo and what happened with the pandemic, and then we're going at it again.
Mhm.
You seem to be in such a confident, happy, positive place every time we've talked about your practices, which is I'm sure are insane. You keep
Mhm.
inserting the word fun.
Yeah.
What are those conversations in your head where you just keep it positive? Because again, this could be a time that's riddled with anxiety. I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
imagine.
Well, the biggest thing too is you just kind of have to figure out where the fear is sometimes. I think that's the biggest thing, is just knowing yourself and having that self-awareness of like, oh, trials is coming up and I'm so scared. Why? Why are you so scared? Like, really trying to figure that out. Do you feel like you're going to fail somebody, or that you'll be embarrassed, or you're afraid of the pain? And so if you start talking and figuring out those reasons of where that anxiety is coming from, and then just kind of talk it through. So let's say some of the athletes that have a lot of money on the line for sponsorships, the biggest thing is when they're over focusing on what might happen, they're not really focusing on the here and the now. And so if my mind just kind of runs away a little bit and I get anxiety about the future, I just kind of take a deep breath and take it into smaller chunks.
Hmm.
And so ultra marathon runners have a name for this. They call it chunking, where when they're at the beginning of their race, they don't think about the end. They don't even think about the beginning. They just think about 300 meters at a time. So if you're in a position working where you're really anxious about making sure you get enough promotions before your retirement, you worrying about it right now isn't going to do anything. If you take it in smaller chunks, what can you do today? What can you do this hour to make sure that aligns with your goal? So I have no control over how fast everybody else is, but I do have control of getting to practice on time and making sure I'm stretching and eating properly and having a really good attitude, because I can tell with my muscle feel in general, when I start getting sad and I start getting really negative, my muscles feel bad. I do not perform well. There's just chemicals in your brain that just, I think, poison your body when you start becoming negative. But if you force the positive, and even if you're not thinking it, if you say it out loud, then I feel like it comes from your amygdala and goes to your prefrontal cortex of just, this is a good thing. Being sore is a good thing. Being nervous is a good thing. Your nervous system is working. And so it takes a lot of practice. And I've been practicing this positivity for a very long time. And trust me, I definitely have my dark days where I feel like I have to crawl into a hole and no one can help. And I just have to feel that out. But I like it so much better when I'm happy. And I think just swimming in general makes me really happy.
Thank you for watching this episode of MOMCAST. I'm Emma Jade. I'll see you next time.